Okay, so this submission, it really digs into that GDF realization, right? That the massive monster war, it's not about them.
Exactly. Not an invasion against humanity, but something much older, more systemic, a fight over planetary resources.
It's a fantastic core idea. Great character arcs for Tanaka, Rostova, Thorne too. They ground it.
Absolutely. They're our eyes and ears as everything unravels.
Right, so let's jump straight in. First big point. We need to maximize the immediate shock of that core discovery.
You mean when Thorne finds the alien star chart in the Gorgon root Spore in Story 04? The moment they realize the Terrans aren't, well, Terran?
Precisely. That moment needs to hit like a physical blow. It's where strategy collapses before biology.
Okay, so the weakness identified is that the script kind of delays the full impact. It waits for later episodes, like the Giza Pyramid stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It makes the GDF's prior strategies look maybe inefficient or slow, but not instantly obsolete, fundamentally broken.
Which they would be. If the enemy isn't from Earth, every single GDF assumption, targeting, biology, behavior, it's all out the window. Instantly.
That's the suggestion. We need to show that intellectual cost, the Terran lie, hitting the command trio right there, in that Gorgon root scene. Show the strategy just dissolving.
So concrete ways to do that. How do we show that collapse through them?
Okay, let's take Tanaka, the analyst, data guy.
Right. Trust the numbers, the science.
So when Thorne calls in, it's not from Earth. None of the Terrans are. We need a beat, a specific one. Show Tanaka realizing their entire long-range weaponry.
Uh-huh.
It's calibrated for terrestrial seismic weak points, Earth geology.
Ah, okay. So the weapons aren't just maybe underpowered.
No! The targeting science is fundamentally wrong. The whole inventory is useless overnight because the targets don't follow Earth rules.
That's devastating. Especially for Tanaka. His whole world is data, and the foundational data is wrong. Tech obsolescence on a massive scale.
Exactly. Now, Rostova, the warrior, her never hesitate again doctrine.
Tied to her past trauma, yeah. Very personal.
So the realization for her needs to be about miscalculation. Show her internalizing that she thought she was fighting, I don't know, beasts, instinct-driven, predictable in a way.
But now she knows it's alien intelligence, something calculating, possibly ancient.
Right. And that links directly to her trauma about hesitation. Her core philosophy was based on fighting the wrong kind of enemy. It wasn't just about speed, it was about fundamental misunderstanding.
So her struggle isn't just overcoming past hesitation anymore.
It's realizing her whole way of war is invalid. That's crucial for selling that core idea. Weapons can't target evolution itself.
Or alien strategy. Okay, I see that. That immediate, specific fallout for both Tanaka and Rostova really lands the Terran lie impact right in Episode 4.
It defines the current crisis. The later reveals, like the pyramids, can then build on that foundation, adding historical depth to how long they've been here.
Got it. The star chart is the operational catastrophe. The pyramids are the historical mindbender. Okay.
So if we've established that humanity's understanding is shattered, how do we keep them relevant? Which brings us to the second point.
Right. Strengthening human agency. Making sure the GDF aren't just, quote, spectators to this cosmic event.
Yeah. The weakness here is that once you reveal the war is actually an economy, like in 1.112 of the Dead Sea, there's a risk that GDF just becomes passive discoverers. Like, oh, look, rules.
Instead of being active players who might actually threaten that system. If humanity is the infestation, as the text suggests,
Then human actions need to consistently act like an infestation, disrupting things. So the suggestion is to foreshadow this Titan economy earlier
okay.
and frame key GDF actions, even the successful ones, as accidental acts of industrial sabotage, unintentional economic warfare.
Accidental sabotage. I like that. It keeps agency without making them suddenly all-knowing. They're stumbling into disrupting a system they don't understand yet.
Exactly. It means their victories have these huge, unforeseen consequences within the Titan's supply chains, maybe.
Okay, how does that play out? Let's take an example. Story 1.05, The Two-Front War. Rostova's sacrifice saves Sydney.
Right. She causes the Magmox Magma Blast and the Leviathan Hydra Cutter to collide. Heroic moment. Saves the city.
So the suggestion isn't just heroism.
It's adding a layer. Reveal later, maybe through Tanaka's analysis, that the resulting vortex, the energy release, whatever, it accidentally destroyed a critical underwater Terran abyssal resource transfer point.
Ah, so her sacrifice wasn't just tactical, it was economic disruption. Unintended, but massive consequences for the Titan's operations there.
Makes the Titan reaction not just anger at losing a fight, but fury over a messed up transaction. A bottleneck. Makes humanity a real spanner in the works.
A global nuisance. Yeah. Okay, another example? Maybe something more subtle?
Let's look at Thorne. Story 1.08, Grand Canyon. He uses that sonic dampener against Quake-Wing.
Defensive move, non-lethal, drives the creature away. Seems like a clean win.
The suggestion is, don't just have it deter Quake-Wing. Reveal later, again, maybe Tanaka finds it in 1.10, that the specific sonic frequency Thorne used also happened to temporarily jam a crucial long-distance communication link.
A link the Terrans and Abyssals needed for, what, coordinating a resource transfer? A transaction?
Exactly. So Thorne's defensive science becomes, again, accidental sabotage, a localized denial of service attack on their network.
Okay, that's good. It connects Thorne's work directly to this hidden economy. Makes every human action potentially significant in ways they can't predict. They're constantly, accidentally threatening the system.
Reinforces that infestation idea. They're a chaotic variable in this otherwise, perhaps, stable cosmic resource extraction operation.
Right. Okay. That feels much stronger for human agency. They're not passive victims. They're active, albeit unknowing, disruptors.
Which leads nicely into the third critique. This ties back to Thorne's core philosophy and the biology of the Titans.
The idea that this isn't invasion, it's correction. Heightening the biological horror to support that.
Yes. Thorne's belief is central. The Terrans are like gardeners. Humanity is the weed being corrected. It's a great, chilling concept.
But the weakness is that sometimes the descriptions of what the Terrans do feel a bit like standard kaiju destruction, leveling cities, toxic clouds.
Exactly. It defaults to destruction tropes rather than emphasizing the purpose Thorne suggests. If weapons can't target evolution itself, we need to see that evolution, that correction in action, terrifyingly.
So the suggestion is to really lean into the biological replacement aspect, the uncanny ecological transformation, making the audience feel like the focus says that the Earth has started to think. Alien thoughts.
We need to show that the destruction is actually step one of a terrifyingly efficient ecological overhaul. It's not just poison, it's targeted composting and reseeding.
Okay, let's apply that. Gorgon root again, 1.04. The spore cloud in the Amazon.
Instead of just toxic cloud kills things, emphasize the speed and nature of the change. Describe it as instantly composting the existing ecosystem, breaking it down at an unnatural rate.
Okay.
And immediately paving the way for the alien growth. That complex carbon structure, the star chart, doesn't just appear. It sprouts from this hyper-composted ground. Show the unnatural new Terran flora emerging almost instantly.
So the horror isn't just death. It's the speed of replacement. The wrongness of the new life. The forced glowing, breathing alienly right after the attack.
Exactly. Destruction as preparation. That's the biological horror of correction.
And we can do that with the elemental clashes too? Magmox and Leviathan?
Absolutely. Don't just say fire and water. Detail the ecological shockwaves. The superheated steam from Magmox doesn't just scald. Maybe it instantly accelerates mutation in nearby coral, or causes weird algae blooms, or bleaches things in patterns that aren't natural.
Releasing strange chemical compounds, basically showing they are actively, violently terraforming the planet, or maybe xenoforming it, even as they fight each other over its resources.
Precisely. It makes their conflict inherently world-changing on a fundamental biological level. Every clash accelerates the correction, proving Thorne's point in the most visually disturbing way.
They're not just monsters fighting. They're ecological engineers performing violent, competitive planetary modification. That lands the correction theme much harder.
Definitely. Look, the core material here is really strong. Excellent character work, a genuinely original sci-fi premise. The foundations are solid gold.
Yeah, it's got huge potential. So, wrapping up the key takeaways.
It boils down to really maximizing the impact you've already set up. So first, hit hard with the Terran lie. Show that immediate catastrophic collapse of GDF strategy and psychology the moment they know. Make it specific to Tanaka and Rostova.
Right. Strategy collapsing before biology. Second, reposition the GDF. Make their wins, even their defenses, acts of accidental economic sabotage against the Titan system. Keep them relevant as active disruptive forces.
Turn them into unwitting saboteurs, yeah. And third, really commit to the biological horror of correction. Show, don't just tell, the uncanny, purposeful ecological replacement. Make the Terran actions about terrifyingly efficient change, not just destruction. Emphasize that uncanny sense. The Earth has started to think.
Those feel like strong, actionable points. Focus on that immediate impact, the accidental agency, and the specific biological horror.
We definitely encourage the listener to integrate these ideas, really sharpen that edge, and send it back our way. We'd be keen to see the next iteration.
Agreed? Looking forward to it?
Observation logged. Review terminated.